From ABC News, The Weekend Report, here's Tom Jarriel.
Good evening. The nation's capital tonight is a city preparing for the upcoming superpower summit, where the Soviet and American leaders are expected to take a first step toward nuclear disarmament. As President Reagan and Soviet leader Gorbachev did their homework for the summit today, demonstrators took to the streets of Washington and Moscow, demanding freer immigration for Soviet Jews. We have reports. First, Lark McCarthy in Washington.
Open up the anger! 5, 6, 7, 8, let our people immigrate!
More than 200,000 people turned out to demand that Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev allow more Jews to immigrate. Nobel Prize winner Elie Wiesel was among the march leaders, along with former refusenik Natan Sharansky, who spent 9 years in a Soviet jail. Entertainer Pearl Bailey summed up the message in song.
Let my people.
Vice President George Bush echoed that theme.
Mr. Gorbachev, let these people go. Let them go. Let them go.
President Reagan sent a letter of support, and speaker after speaker called for true glasnost, openness, and open doors.
We want to believe that glasnost applies to Jews, but so far it has not.
But until they are all allowed out, there is no glasnost.
No missiles and tanks, no camps and prisons can extinguish the light of candle of freedom.
Light one candle for all we believe in.
About 8,000 Jews will be allowed to leave the Soviet Union this year, compared to 900 last year. These demonstrators fear exit visas could be cut after the summit. This demonstration was carefully timed to bring the glare of international publicity to the cause of Soviet Jewish immigration. Organizers succeeded in staging a major rally, but the goal is major reform from Mikhail Gorbachev. Lark McCarthy, ABC News, Washington.
This is Rick Endefirth in Moscow. The demonstration was organized by Jewish activists to call attention to the refusal of the Soviet Union to grant them exit visas, and Soviet authorities paid attention. They brought in counter-demonstrators to crowd them out. Plainclothes policemen made certain that offending banners did not stay up very long. And several scuffles broke out, including this one involving CNN reporter Peter Arnett, who was detained for several hours. And tonight on Soviet television, both refuseniks and the press were denounced for worming their way into the rally sponsored by the authorities and disrupting it. Still, there was another side to the human rights story in Moscow today. These Jewish refuseniks, some denied permission to immigrate from the Soviet Union for more than 10 years, were recently told they were free to go. And with Jewish immigration from the Soviet Union up sharply, there is some hope that the Kremlin's human rights policy may be changing.
Despite this significant increase in Jewish immigration, the Soviets' human rights policies will remain high on the agenda when Mikhail Gorbachev arrives in Washington. And today's incident with the refusenik demonstration may be added to that agenda. Rick Endefirth, ABC News, Moscow.
There was another demonstration on another important human rights issue today in Lafayette Park across the street from the White House. About 750 people gathered there to demand an end to the 8-year-old Soviet occupation of Afghanistan. Soviet-backed government today released nearly 2,400 prisoners under a new amnesty program. Eventually, 5,000 prisoners will be released.
Dennis and Jill and Brett and Chad and Devin and Angie and Danae, I'd like to introduce you to Swanson's new home-style entrees. Swanson's new home-style entrees? Meet the Blodgetts.
Hi! Deluxe chicken pie, sirloin tips with noodles, lasagna with meat sauce, scalloped potatoes and ham. Have you met Swanson's home-style recipe entrees?
You've got a sore throat.
Hello, would you?
And a cough. Nice showers your throat with medicine, cooling your pain and cough pleasantly.
Would you like to buy a trusty little vacuum?
No, thank you. So you can have a nice day.
I'm gonna get away. I'm gonna go somewhere, relax, take it easy, you know?
Where do you want to go?
Bloomingdale's.
No matter why or when, Northwest can fly you to over 220 cities worldwide.
The primary focus of this week's summit will be the signing of a new treaty to eliminate medium-range nuclear missiles. But President Reagan and Soviet leader Gorbachev will be looking beyond that to a potentially more important agreement, limiting long-range nuclear weapons. More now from Kenneth Walker.
Even before the official signing of a treaty banning intermediate nuclear weapons, Secretary of State Schultz, on This Week with David Brinkley, said the focus of this week's summit will be on edging closer to a strategic arms treaty.
The next things on our agenda of arms control are, first of all, here, the strategic arms effort to reduce those drastically, 50%. It's a very desirable objective.
Chief arms negotiator Max Kampelman said both sides in Geneva last month produced a draft treaty that settled most of the outstanding issues.
There are still some important issues that are to be resolved.
Those include disagreements on so-called sublimits, or the number of missiles based on land, in the air, or at sea. Another sticking point is how each side can verify that the other's not cheating. But the most crucial sticking point remains what it was in Reykjavik last year, when the President and Gorbachev agreed to the concept of a 50% cut in nuclear forces, President Reagan's SDI program that would intercept Soviet missiles.
Star Wars is the problem. It is, or will be, maybe the correct way to put it, will be the problem in the future, because up till now, it's not yet there, it's on the drawing board.
The Soviets have given every indication that Secretary Gorbachev is bringing new proposals designed to break the impasse over SDI. If he does, U.S. officials say there should be no reason why President Reagan can't sign such an agreement at another summit next year in Moscow. Kenneth Walker, ABC News at the White House.
ABC News Live summit coverage will begin tomorrow on Good Morning America when Soviet leader Gorbachev makes a stopover in Great Britain for talks there with Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. We'll also bring you coverage of Mr. Gorbachev's arrival here in Washington, scheduled for 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday.
Why cook in oil, margarine, or butter? All natural Pam adds only 1/10 the fat and calories and keeps food light and delicious. Pam cooking spray, because how you cook is as important as what you cook.
The news about aspirin is startling, but this even surprised me. New clinical studies show Anison's aspirin formula is more effective against headaches than regular strength aspirin, and that means better headache relief.
Anison, a better aspirin formula.
When eating your Pepperidge Farm pizza, notice that the light, flaky croissant crust is baked in sections, so it's easy to share. That is, if you had a mind to.
Steve, I'd like to introduce you to a new Swanson home-style entree, lasagna with meat sauce.
How do you do?
New Swanson's lasagna with meat sauce. This is Steve...
Steve Simpson.
Have you met Swanson's home-style entrees?
Monday, the summit begins with Gorbachev's arrival in the U.S. and later the unprecedented verification measures of the new arms treaty. On ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
The war in the Persian Gulf heated up today as Iranian gunboats attacked two tankers bearing the flags of neutral countries. Iranian forces inflicted severe damage to one vessel and caused a loss of life on the other. Details now from Jim Hickey.
Smoke from the stricken Singapore tanker Norman Atlantic could be seen 50 miles away. Up close, it was an inferno, fire from bow to stern. She had been ripped, her captain said, by rocket-propelled grenades from Iranian-type speedboats. The distress call could be heard on radios across the southern Gulf.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Norman Atlantic.
Filled with highly flammable naphtha fuel, the tanker was rocked by explosions for hours after the attack. It was so dangerous, ships were warned to stay far away.
This is Oman Navy. Major explosion risk. All shipping remain 5 miles clear.
All 33 crewmen were rescued unhurt. But aboard another tanker, this Danish vessel, one man was killed when it was attacked earlier in the day. A rescue helicopter crashed on deck, and the tanker crewman died before he could be taken to a hospital. Today's attacks occurred within view of U.S. Navy warships escorting American oil tankers through the Gulf. Once again, driving home how dangerous the Navy mission here can be. Jim Hickey, ABC News, in the Gulf.
In Haiti, they're stocking up on groceries, bottled water, and other necessities in anticipation of a nationwide general strike set to begin tomorrow. Major presidential candidates and trade unions have called for the strike to force free elections and depose the ruling military junta, which just last Sunday canceled Haiti's first scheduled presidential elections in 30 years after pre-polling violence broke out.
You call as if something's up. What is it?
I just got back from spot checking 10 stores in the Southwest. We're cutting our throats out there.
If they don't have it, why are they advertising it?
We have no inventory control. We have no common link.
Wrong department.
Excuse me. Could you tell me the price of this lamp?
I mean, it's affecting our whole attitude. Look, every time we add a store, we build a new phone system from scratch.
Do we have the number to the downtown store?
No, I don't have it.
No, I don't have that for you.
The competition isn't sending sympathy cards. If we don't tie our locations together pretty quick, we might as well put this company on sale.
Sounds like I've been away from the floor too long. Tell me what you need to make it happen.
Live from Washington, the Reagan-Gorbachev Summit.
All this week on Good Morning America.
Finally tonight, an exhibit which literally does reach out and touch someone. In New York City, celebrities from the world of entertainment and politics have been captured in an unusual art form, especially planned for the blind or those who are sight impaired, roughly 8 million Americans. The story now from Ned Potter.
In a New York lobby, Mayor Koch meditates. Whoopi Goldberg wears a serene smile. Stevie Wonder grins from ear to ear.
Want to feel Stevie Wonder, Denise?
Yeah. Oh, he has a big smile.
He does.
These are life casts, exact moldings of famous faces. Artist Willa Shallot has created them so that blind people can touch them and, in effect, see these celebrities for the first time. It allows them to make contact with a world that often excludes them.
Okay, here is Michael J. Fox.
He has like a baby face.
Willa Shallot has made life casts her life's work.
My blind friends have told me that they consider it very tacky to touch people's faces, but they are comfortable touching the life cast.
Shallot has made moldings of 1,500 faces, and her studio is crowded with them. Richard Nixon peers from the wall as she spreads wet gauze on her assistant's face.
It's a bandage that has a special kind of plaster in it that sets in only 1 minute.
The resulting shell is used to make a bronze-colored mask. Some are on display in New York at the Jewish Guild for the Blind.
It's so wonderful to be able to have something that I can enjoy, whether visually or tactily. It's marvelous.
Most visual art is frustrating for the blind, but this is an art form that reaches out to them. Ned Potter, ABC News, New York.
And that's our report for tonight. I'm Tom Jarriel for all here at ABC News. Good night.
From Washington, this has been the Weekend Report. Tomorrow, watch World News Tonight with Peter Jennings for a complete look at the day's top stories. The Weekend Report is a presentation of ABC News.